Hi guys, so behind me here, this is the Volvo XC40. Well, here in Malaysia, the XC40 is available with a selection of 3 powertrains. There is, of course, the 2-litre turbo model, which we are all familiar with, the T5 all-wheel drive R design. They recently launched the all-electric P8 Recharge. This one is in between. This is the T5 Recharge plug-in hybrid. Alright, it pairs the 1.5-litre 3-cylinder engine, which you may know from the Proton X70, with an electric motor, and all that jing bang makes about 260 horsepower. Price for this thing, 240,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit more expensive than the petrol model, which means that choosing one over the other really is a matter of choice. Right? Are you an old-fashioned guy like me who would still pick a traditional combustion engine, or you are a bit more adventurous in your selection, you want to go for a plug-in hybrid? From a stylistic standpoint, one look at this, you may not immediately be able to differentiate this from the regular petrol model, but nothing wrong with that. Firstly, Volvo is making it a norm that all of its models in the future, okay, well, they have already announced that they'll be phasing out internal combustion engines within the near future, right? So for them, plug-in hybrid, mild hybrid, or all-electric model, it's going to be the norm. So there's no need to specifically differentiate design-wise the plug-in hybrid model versus the regular petrol model. So there's, of course, a subtle recharge badge here indicating that this is the plug-in hybrid. Okay, there's the T5 recharge badge here. And of course, well, there is the charging port at the front fender. So, well, stylistically, the XC40, in my opinion, this is perhaps the most handsome car in its segment against the Mercedes GLA, the BMW X1, the Audi Q3. I'm not quite sure how the Lexus NX fits in, or Lexus UX for that matter. Lexus UX is a bit too busy in its styling. The XC40 here looks more effortlessly handsome. All right, and this is and in my opinion, this is a great entry level model for the Volvo brand, because it's stylish, it's chic, it's the kind of car that a young and successful and adventurous person would want to be seen in. Just recently, we welcomed a customer here at EvoClub Car Wash, where he brought in an XC40, all right, with a dirtied mountain bike, and that's something that I don't imagine seeing an X1 customer or a Mercedes GLA customer doing. All right, this guy, you know, 230,000 ringgit car, puts a muddy mountain bike in it, and goes mountain biking and all that. So it really captures a kind of demographic that is not just with high spending power, but also with well, a bit of a sense of adventure, you may say. All right, but yeah, overall, stylistically, from a styling perspective, Volvo got the XC40 spot on, so no need for any radical changes to its design anyways. All right, so in my opinion, the XC40 is, as I tested it in its T5 2-litre turbo model, was best in class, all right, against its competitors. But how does it fare as a plug-in hybrid? So let's check it out. Firstly, we will start by examining the boot. Okay, hey, great size. Okay, there's a 12-volt socket here. Well, lights on this side, and I like the way they angled it, because I've told you guys this story before. In my S-Max, the light, the LED light, the boot light is angled this way, and when I open it at night, it glares my vision, because the light, the bright light, shines directly to my eyes. But here it's angled away, so you illuminate the boot without glaring your vision, so that's great. Okay, so there are hooks here for you to hang things, and so 60/40 split folding seats, which we'll explore later. Now underneath here, okay, so you lift the boot floor, can be lifted, but there's no split level. And unlike what I saw recently in the Volkswagen Golf, they missed an opportunity to put something like a notch here to hold this up, or in some cars they would have put a strut, so there isn't that there. Okay, but what's this? So but you have that manual well, strut, I guess that works. So under here, okay, is the 12-volt battery. So this is great news, because in my experience with rear-mounted batteries, first thing you get, they last a lot longer, all right, than the engine bay mounted batteries. So you have keyless, hands-free access. Let's try this then. Okay, so I dangle the key fob here. Yeah, all right. Yeah, typical Volvo, you have to kick under the first V. Now, one complaint before this is that the XC40's rear seat is a bit too upright. Looks quite upright still, but we'll check it out later. Now, let's look at the armrest. Nice, okay, feels solid. Nice little cup holder here. These blowers look appropriately classy, and there are two USB-C ports here. Leg room here looks great. Okay, nice materials, and I'm 170 centimeters tall. Great amount of headroom, but yeah, it feels comfortable sitting here. But one thing, the seat back, it's a bit hard, and yeah, it's a bit upright. So I think for some people over long distance, they may find this a bit tiring. The leg room is good, but the bench itself is rather short, and I think Bobby has commented on this before, because the XC40, if you look at it in context, right, it is mainly to appeal to singles, young couples, or maybe even, you know, first-time parents, right, where they are still quite early in their journey of life, and they probably would have kids or toddlers, and you know, by the time their kids reach an age where this bench becoming small, that's when they would have upgraded to an XC60 or an XC90. Look at the door card now. Quite regrettably, Volvo has opted for a single tone gray cabin. So this door handle here, I say this is a nice upmarket looking touch, but yeah, this could have been nicer if this was in a contrast color, but this material is good, the way they designed this, and this is an okay bin, but they've compensated that with this here as well. And this is another storage compartment here, which passengers here can drop things. All right, so come inside to the front. Okay, so here you've got memory seats. Okay, and yeah, this is good. Okay, this has been a selling point of the XC40, a full length door card. So the speaker is here, there are no speakers down here. They put a full length door card. Basically you can just chuck your whole laptop in there, and you know, and it will sit in there. So this is great for the ladies. This cabin really, I think, looks very, very familiar from the regular XC40. Well, the car is still charging, so I can't start the engine yet. But down here, let me just show you guys. So this is a nice, generously sized compartment, complete with a wireless charger here, two USB ports, and there's a 12-volt socket here, electronic gear shifter. And what I like here is that these compartments are all rubberized, so when you put things in here, they don't slide about. So this tray here is for you to put the remote key fob in case when it runs out of battery. So this is rather shallow, okay, as a storage compartment, but the compartmentalizing of this space, right, is great. So basically, right, you have this almost, look at this whole area. Okay, only this section is unavailable for storage. This whole section is very, very well organized for storage space, and here as well you can see this open. Okay, and this is also, like, you know, maybe a compartment where you can just drop a thin enough phone in here, standing for, you know, to hold your weight, to read your ways or whatnot. All right, so well, this is this buttons here are a matte finish. In the higher Volvos, this would have been, you know, a smooth glass like finish, but hey, that's okay. Steering wheel looks and feels good. So This is the familiar, you know, portrait style touchscreen that Volvo has been using ever since the XC90 in 2015. This has served them well, and what the clever part about this is that when you shift into here, everything is available in, you know, just one touch. So this is good. And there's a drive mode button here. All these, well, buttons here, very, very good quality. So a lot of the controls are moved to the screen, but they still keep just enough. They still just keep a row of buttons here for you to do functions like, you know, hazard lights, volume adjustment, what you call it, windscreen demister, and so on. So here you have it, the glove box in there, and overall, I would say this is yeah, I mean, as an entry level model luxury SUV, this cabin is it's a great cabin, all right, and definitely feels more upmarket if you compare this with an X1 or a Mercedes GLA, especially the GLA 200. So I think in my opinion, well, as I always say, I think Volvo could have the build and design of this cabin is great, but I think Volvo could have been a bit more adventurous with their color selection for our market. But that's about it. Otherwise, well, let's look forward to take it for a drive. Heading out in the XC40 plug-in hybrid. So well, got that first few meters out on fully electric mode. Takeoff from standstill, as we would expect, is effortless. Right now I'm still moving along at on electric power, and somehow I get that confidence to do just this, turn it in and gut the accelerator. The handling of this chassis remains superb. I mean, this generation of Volvos, yeah, they have really upped their handling game. I mean, you look before that, during the Ford era, quite ironically, the Volvos somehow didn't get the handling prowess, you know, despite using Ford platforms. But now when they switch to using their own, the handling magic is there. But one thing I haven't quite gotten used to, however, is the brake response. Now, a lot of you will say, "Oh yeah, that's, you know, because it's plug-in hybrid, it's regen braking and all that." But in all my experience reviewing PHEVs, plug-in hybrids or regular hybrid models, regen braking has never given me, you know, any problems, you know, in various hybrid cars I reviewed. But somehow this one, the XC40 plug-in hybrid here, feels a little too grabby for me. Somehow I just can't get the modulation quite right. But the acceleration is, it's not okay. I just felt the petrol engine kick in, but it fired up with a very gentle jerk, and that's it. So I felt it, but it's not an intrusive kind of feeling. And right now, as the engine is humming along, the refinement is pretty decent. So I think I've gotten the brakes really quite well, almost figured out. The initial maybe centimeter of travel, the response is still quite predictable. It's just that when you require more drastic stopping, the brake pressure ramps up, you know, quite suddenly. Handling is steady, you know, very, very confidence inspiring. Tracks well, follows the line that you chose. Well, the ride is very, very good. You know, as I said before, right, the good thing about plug-in hybrids is that, you know, the electric motor takes care of the stop-start traffic conditions, which in regular combustion engine cars is the main drain of your fuel consumption. All right, and you know, when you need to cover a longer distance, all right, let's say right now on a fast moving highway, this is where the combustion engine then steps in when it is its most efficient. Final thoughts here on the XC40. I personally still prefer the regular petrol model, but I can see the appeal of the plug-in hybrid here. It's same way I can see the appeal of cars like, you know, the X5 plug-in hybrid, the 3 Series 330e plug-in hybrid versus their regular petrol counterparts. But evaluated on its own, I think my only complaint of this car really is that the response to the brakes could do with some improvements to its calibration. But I would say that as a like, for example, a car to navigate this kind of traffic, all right, it's great to have that electric motor step in, all right, and you know, and put the petrol engine to rest where it is the least efficient. And you know, then when you hit a highway, you know, you need to carry 3-digit speeds, the petrol engine then can come back in and do its part. But what is great to know about this the XC40 plug-in hybrid here is, yes, I think my thoughts, I think the regular petrol model still feels sportier in the way it responds to you, but you go with this one, the handling, it's still superb. See, like right now I can go into this with a fair degree of speed, you know, charging into the bends with absolute confidence. And you know, that is achieved with no sacrifice to ride comfort, making this a fabulous day-to-day car that, you know, that you can also enjoy. See, the travel of the suspension, just fantastic. You know, it's a great daily car that, you know, you can still have a lot of fun with under. There you see, that was where I struggled a bit with the braking. So yeah, never had that even with other plug-in hybrids like S60 or the XC90. So the transition between regen and frictional braking, I think that can be improved a bit. But otherwise, fabulous, great. So if you ask me, between the XC40, so if you ask me overall, the XC40 is really the best all-rounder, you know, in the compact premium SUV segment. Of course, between all the variants, my choice really would be still the regular petrol model. No harm if you choose this one. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the description section. Are you still a bit more conservative? Do you prefer the regular petrol model, or will you go for this one, the plug-in hybrid, or will you go all electric, which is something that, yeah, for me, I would go either full petrol or full electric. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Right, so till my next video, take care guys, stay safe, see you soon.